Hi doll! Hi YouTube! So today I have a special unboxing and review of some Playline dolls. I have to say it's been a very long time since I had anything similar come to me. Okay, so we have Zoe, Rumi and Mira from the K-Pop Demon Hunters core dolls, the How It's Done versions. They are made by Metal and they are the mass-produced dolls. I did also pre-order the What It Sounds Like set and the Demon Genu set, so we'll see when they get here. But for now it's just these three. So I will put up the specific weights and box measurements for in case somebody like me has to or wants to order them from overseas. Since they are not yet available in my country, I spent a pretty penny getting them here. And unfortunately, Amazon shipped them in little paper bags, so both Zoe and Rumi's boxes are absolutely shredded. Mira's box is pretty much okay. Only flaw here is this corner. So let's start off with the boxes. They are a traditional blister with a cardboard backing that's glued on the sides. They do have the lines from the honeymoon all around the plastic. And each of the characters has a character image on the front. So I do have to say, they kind of look, images themselves look a bit washed out. Very red stuff. So for the basics on each box, we have Mira on her box, Zoe on her box, Rumi on her box. The cardboard images are stuck to the plastic with glue on these 4 spots. It's pretty easy to see and the glue warped the plastic. So on the backs of the cardboard blister, we have the same 3 repeating images, just that the character on top is the one who is in the box. And the 2 on the bottom changes with each box. Nothing special. We have the character images, movie logo, Netflix logo, all of the warners and stuff at the bottom. A closer look at Mira's box, since she's the most whole. I honestly hate these types of blister boxes because it's so easy to ruin it and you have to throw it away afterwards. You can't reuse it. So I just slid my finger in here where there's no glue and I'm peeling the box away. On the top there seems to be tape, which is staying the cardboard. Nice. There's the inside of the blister. And the image is just this apart. On the cardboard backing, facing the doll side, we do have some purple with the line of the honeymoon, and we do have this blue trapezoid, which kind of looks like the support light sticks. So each doll is attached to a blister to the cardboard, along with a bunch of zip ties and plastic. So I'll just turn it there. That was Mira's unboxing. You can probably tell I haven't unboxed a mass-produced Western style doll in a while. And I'm going to cut the gibbers off completely off screen. It's not too complicated. And I will be doing the other two girls off screen. And it's quite fun, but Mira's weapon is too large for the box. Okay, and I'm back, so we can take a better look at the girls. So, let's start off with Fury. Why? Because she is the main character of the movie. And my favorite character. Okay, so she does come with a jacket tied. Okay. She has 2 or 3 times of purple in her hair, and I can't quite feel the texture at the top, but here at the tips it's very scraggly. It doesn't feel too good at the tips. I have read that she has polypropylene hair though. Her face is painted nicely. Her eyebrows do have a very faint individual eyebrow hairs. She has her earrings. Another 2 is missing in this ear. She has a jacket, a shirt with a necklace, her shorts and her boots, and her sword. I'll talk about weapons later. So naturally all her accessories is plastic. The necklace is held down with a rubber band around her shoulders. The jacket is made of faux leather, which is printed all over, and it does have some nice stitch details like the cuffs and the collar. And we have a strip of fabric that looks like a faux zipper. Very nice, though it does make the printed zippers stand out. And she does have a pauldron on her left shoulder. It is sewn in place and plastic. Now, the faux leather is a very weird texture. It kind of feels smooth as if your fingers glide off it, but it does have actual texture. And it does wrinkle a bit, as you can see here and here. That came from when I left the arm bent overnight. The shirt is stitchy fabric. I don't try to remember the name right now, but it is synthetic though. So her jacket and shirt are two separate pieces. Her shirt closes in the back with Velcro, and as you can see, she does have some of her patterns, not on the back, but they do extend onto her shoulders and neck. They are in a metallic a metallic purple, and I fear that the ones on the neck are going to scrape off with time with movement of the head. The ones at the shoulders are likely to have that happen as well. Excuse the doll nudity. There you can see the patterns on her shoulders as well. The rubber bands did get stuck in her shoulder joints a bit. And I see there is a lot of excess plastic here on the shoulders. The patterns do not go to her back. And they don't have pattern on the chest like we see in the art books. I'm going to put the clothes back on. I didn't mention the necklace is one piece. It comes off very easily with the gaping hole at the back, but it is sculpted pretty nicely and accurately to the movie. The inner pants, it is some kind of woven fabric, almost completely printed on details, from the pockets to the pink stripes at the top and the sides. We do have a sewn cuff and a fur zipper in the front. And we do have two belt loops that are technically functional at the front, but not at the back. This type of fabric seems to be the type that's going to wash out pretty easily, so pay attention to that. And she does have the Noige attached on her left hip. In her boots, simple plastic, decently sculpted and quite difficult to get off with the slit in the back because they're not that flexible plastic. And other than that, she does have a yellow hair tie in her hair that is attached to her hair with a rubber band. It is a very solid, hard plastic, so it would be easy to just pull the hair out. It would have been nice if they used a softer plastic. Except for the pants that is mostly printed details, I'd say the clothing is of nice quality. So we do have this shoulder here that keeps collapsing in on itself. Nice solid stitching all around with the jacket and the shirt. So I'd say it's pretty good quality. Although I know some people are very disappointed with the printed details, and sure, I wished at least pieces like this and the zipper would have been an extra piece at least glued on, but it's a plain line doll, and I'm not sure about the longevity of the faux leather of the jacket. I haven't really come into contact with this specific type of faux leather. Moving on to Mira. Starting from the top, the hair does feel smooth until you reach the tips. It also feels a bit scraggy. In the bit of time that I've played with her, I can say I'm not quite a fan. It does feel nice to touch like this, but not that nice to play with. And she is the one with the long mostly untied hair, so she definitely would be a kind target for hair play. The hair is pretty secure. They do have some flyaways all around. The face paint is also pretty nice. Some individual eyebrow hairs, blush, and makeup. There we do have a little pink spot over there. It shouldn't be there. We have her earrings. They are the type that are long and on a chain, and because of the way the pegs go into the head, they pretty much stick to the neck. They are both the same on both sides. She has a choker. She has a shirt with a shoulder pad on the right shoulder. It is sewn on as well as attached with an elastic. She does have gloves, plastic gloves on her hands that can be removed when you take the hands off. More on that later. She has a faux leather skirt with a very unpleasant material. It is super shiny and there are a lot of stitched details. It has belt on the back, same with the shirt. She does have a noige, and we have this chain that is a very flexible plastic. The gloves are also a flexible plastic, but the shoulder pads, dangly pieces are hard plastic and will most likely break. Her shirt is printed. It's a bit not as clear, but it is nice and vibrant. And she has fabric boots. It is the same type of faux leather as the Rumi's jacket. We do have some stitch details like the knee pads and the front and back seams. We do have a plastic heel, and inside the shoe we have a plastic shoe which her feet slip comfortably into. The rest of the details on the shoes are printed, like the stitching here on the sides and the color blocks. And we have some printed details on the knee pads and a zipper on the inside. There isn't to say that much about the quality on mirror. The nicest details are the stitching on the skirt and on the shoes. But the sculpting on her accessories are pretty nice. Next, Zoe. She has her hair in buns and it is gelled and the gel is flaking. She has earrings in both ears. They are the same style, just mirrored. In her top we have the same faux leather as Rumi's jacket and Mira's boots, but it is printed. Also it is stretchy, so the stitching on the bottom has been the fabric has been stitched with the stitch, and now when it's in a relaxed pose it does make a bunch of, what's the word, gathers. On top of the top is attached to a plastic piece that goes around the neck. It is surprisingly not attached, held on with an elastic band. It does close with Velcro in the back. She has a little shoulder pocket thing that's sculpted, printed plastic. It's sculpted and made with plastic. It does slide off pretty easily, but sits nice and secure. On the other hand, we do have some bangles, both attached in one piece. The pants. This is a slightly stretchy fabric, and it's the type of fabric, feels like a type of fabric sports clothes are made of. It is printed all over, with the stitches being printed as well. The suspender straps is also soft plastic. They do attach to each other in the back with this little piece. They are sewn onto her pants with stitches here, here, here and here. She does have zippered cuffs and a zippered waistband, and her noige is present as well. Then her shoes, some nice chunky sneakers in blue and yellow. Though it's obviously the plastic is blue and the yellow is painted on, because you can see a slight blue sheen coming out from beneath the yellow. Otherwise the painting details on her shoes are pretty good. Other paint details. on everybody's Noige is a bit lacking. So let's take a close up of all of everyone's Noige. Zoe's has some bells and lots of charms and a sea turtle. She seems to really like sea turtles. Here's Mira's, pink with lots of heart-like shapes and a tiny Zoe and Rumi charm. Also missing quite a bit of paint. And Rumi's here with a few charms and once again missing some paint. Other details that are missing paint are Rumi's boots. We don't have the green stripe or the silver bits in the front and back. The silver on her necklace is a bit transparent-ish, as well as on her earrings, which is the same as Zoe and Mira's earrings. Seems to be a semi-translucent plastic. Zoe is missing paint on her suspenders and on her shoulder pouch, and the painting on her collar piece is fine. Mira's mostly missing paint on her Noige and her gloves. Looking at screenshots, I thought her choker was missing paint, but it was just the reflections of things on the silver in the movie that made it look like it had more color. So, let's talk about character accuracy. First off, the heights. From a comparison screenshot where they wear these outfits, Zoe and Rumi are the correct heights, but Mira is a bit short. And although Rumi's hair does make her taller, her doll isn't that much shorter than Mira, about less than a centimeter, excluding Rumi's hair. That's it. Everybody's torsos are the same length. By the way, Mira has the ribbon in her skirt to keep it from hiding up. Likewise, Mira's tiny bit short, but she is definitely taller than Rumi. So, and for everyone, the heads on the dolls are proportionally bigger compared to their bodies than in the movie. So I'm guessing that seems to be a common thing with some character dolls. So I'm not sure if that's necessary or a design choice. So let's get up close for the rest of the character accuracy. Starting with Mira, her hair is a bit longer than in the movie. And her face. The cheeks are a bit rounder than they're supposed to be, and her lips are fuller. She is missing some makeup on her eyes, mostly her Einstein in the corner of the eyes, and her makeup is a lot more vibrant than it is in the movie. It has a bit more of a smoky look in the movie, and she is missing an eye shine in one of her eyes. Also, the side pieces here are supposed to be gelled to a point, or styled that they come to a point, but they aren't. Her hairstyle is pretty accurate, but this side of the pigtails was a bit low. What to say? Not as the elastic wasn't as tight as it's supposed to be, so I just pulled the hair and it looks fine. The earrings and choker are accurate. The details on her shirt is fine, but I'm not sure about the cut. On my computer I couldn't quite see in the movie whether she has this type of almost raglan type cut on the sleeve or not, because her shirt is black, but the silhouette does look fine. The printing is accurate, although the white isn't as vibrant as it should be. It is stitchy. The shoulder pad is accurate, although the hanging pieces are annoying. The gloves are fine, and the clothes are fine. Mira also doesn't have her nails painted like in the movie, and her hair is a bit brighter than at least the section of the movie I watched for this review. It's a bit too vibrant. Next up, Yumi. So obvious is obvious, her hair is way too short. The color is also a bit more vibrant than in the movie. She is missing 2 earrings, and her jawline is a bit stronger than in the movie, although it appears a lot more strongly on camera than off camera. The way they did her eyes with the shadow on the sclera does make her eye look narrower and wider than it's supposed to be, but that's a painting error, painting issue rather than a likeness issue. She does have this slightly narrow-eyed look during the how it's done section of the movie. Her lips are a bit fuller and her lipstick is a bit darker. And her eyebrows are very much a brown on the doll. Although it has a purplish tone to it, it's still brown. And she is, in the movie, she has a more purplish and blue eyeshadow rather than the pink and purple on the doll. The details on the clothes are pretty accurate, but the colors here on the front, it's supposed to be a more of a teal color than blue and more of a red than pink. No painted nails, and the boots are fine. She is missing some rings on her fingers though. And lastly, the jacket on the doll is a bit more fitted than the one in the movie. The one she wears in the movie is a lot more bulky. Next up, Zoe. So for her hair, they are pretty accurate, although the hair sticking out of the buns is unfortunately unavoidable with the doll. And the buns are a lot bigger on the doll than in the movie. The tendrils on the sides of her face is supposed to be a bit curly, but it's a bit hard for that in this scale. And her bangs are too long. But she looks more like herself this way, because I've seen the shorter bangs on the figure, the action figure from Metal, and the Hot Toys version, where they do have the accurate bangs, but it makes her look very weird. So I'm happy with this length. The earrings do look like they're supposed to, though a bit clumpy with the scale. Maybe she does have a lot of more sharp chin. And her makeup is supposed to be a bit more pink, although she does have some cute little freckles. The painting details on the outfit is accurate, although a lot of the yellow gets a bit lost compared to how vibrant they are in the movie. She is also missing some rings and stuff on her hands. And lastly, once again, no nail polish. Okay. So I'd say, although not 100% accurate, they look like they're supposed to be. Rather, they look like who they are supposed to represent. So I'm fine with that. Now just moving a bit onto the bodies. So we have posability at the head, we can turn all the way around, back and forward, side to side tilt. The average Metal doll deal. Shoulders do not go all the way up, so you can't do a T-pose. Or you can't go all the way back either. forward. So there is some limitation there. Elbows 90-degree bend. The ruby with a jacket is ever so slightly limited, but there is enough space in her jacket for her to get the proper range of movement. We have the wrist, back and forward, all the way around. The hands are removable, and words about the peg or pike toe, and they are very flexible plastic. Her jacket does make it hard to put the hand back in properly. The hands themselves, like I said, is a very flexible plastic. So for the hips, they are a bit tight. They do bend nicely. They do come out down a bit when you pull the legs together though, but not enough that they can't sit anymore. They do not have a very good split. We do have some rotation inside the socket there. Knees 90-degree bend. Zoe's pants are very loose. There is no worry about her post boot on her knee, but Mira's boots do limit it a bit. Not significantly, but it can stay there. Pretty average posing. Nothing groundbreaking and nothing too bad. They're definitely not the level of singing dolls bad. Now finally we go on to the weapons. First we have mirrors. I'll try to put the name on the screen. The stock is very long. From tip to tip, it's just below 34 centimeters. Much longer than the dolls themselves. So, the paint, we have this yellowish gold paint, and the plastic itself is a clear blue. And it doesn't want to properly zoom. Let's try here. Okay. And we do have a pink purple iridescence on all of the clear parts. Unfortunately, I do have some scratches here on the blade of Mira's weapon, which is filled with a bit of the gold paint. When I first saw the sketches, I thought my cats somehow got to it, but since there's gold paint in the sketches, it is a manufacturing error. The sculpting is pretty good, but I do wish these bells were actual bells and not just vague lumps of plastic. Right. It is very pretty. And she does. We do have this piece place where it can go into the hand, although it does split the fingers a bit and it's not that sturdy. I think they should have added a second spot with one of these since the pole arm is so long. The patterns, we do have cloud and lotus patterns here on the blade. Which, by the way, Mira also has some patterns on the bottoms of her shoes. They very much look like Zoe's throwing knives. Similar shape anyway. Once again, most of the paint is that yellowish gold, and the plastic is a clear blue with a pink purple iridescence. Since it's clear plastic, it's making it a bit harder to see the patterns, but it is very flower-like. And she has two, and they stay in your hands quite easily since they're not heavy. They do have some mispainted spots though. That's unpainted. and the top unpainted on both. Then Naomi's sword. So once again with the yellow gold parts and the clear blue with the pink iridescent sheen. No, unlike the patterns on Mira and Zoe's weapons, hers do resemble constellations and in some manner also resembles her patterns. I don't know much about constellations, so that's why I make that association more obvious than the constellation bit. But they do look like stars connected by lines. Once again, she can hold her sword with her 2 fingers. Let's see if I can get 3 fingers in there. Okay. That looks a bit better. So, and I'm back with some new dolls. I don't have any newer Barbies, so Anastasia and this old Barbie will have to do. So height-wise, they seem to be about Naomi's height. Anastasia at least. This Barbie is a bit shorter, somewhere their body is somewhere in between Naomi and Zoe's heights. Really, the proportions are very, very different. Although it's interesting to note that Zoe with her shorter legs makes her torso somehow look a bit wider. Even though all of them have the same torsos. So anyway, I'm sure they'll be able to share Barbie clothes very easily. And I think that's that. I'm hoping that what it sounds like dolls will be better with Rumi's hair and Mira's hair quality. But these dolls, for what I got them for, are pretty nice. They have the details, they have character accuracy, they have accessories, and the clothes are pretty nice. Not the best, but nice. And like I've seen hordes of other people do, they can easily share other clothes. So, last thing to mention. Pretty much, except for the head, the entire doll is this hollow plastic for the head and hands. And they feel super lightweight, especially compared to these two with the rubber legs. Anyway, I really like these dolls and I'm going to enjoy playing with them. They are by far the most colorful things on my shelf. Thanks for watching. Bye.